Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to Nine Nar Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. Your Best Year Ever by Michael Hyatt is a goal achievement guide designed for people who feel stuck between big ambitions and inconsistent follow-through. Built around a practical 5-step framework, the book helps readers clarify what they really want and translate that clarity into daily action. Hyatt approaches goal setting as more than a productivity exercise, emphasizing that a meaningful year includes progress across multiple life domains such as health, relationships, family, finances, and work. Rather than relying on inspiration or vague resolutions, the plan focuses on selecting the right goals, removing common obstacles, and building supportive routines. The tone and structure reflect Hyatt's background in leadership and personal development, with an emphasis on systems, measurement, and accountability. Readers can expect a method that aims to be realistic for busy lives while still challenging enough to create noticeable momentum. The core promise is straightforward. With a better process, you can make consistent progress on what matters most and finish the year with tangible results. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, choosing goals that actually matter across life domains. A central emphasis of the book is that the best goals are not simply impressive or socially approved, but personally meaningful and strategically chosen. Hyatt encourages readers to look beyond work targets and include a full life view, making room for areas like physical health, marriage or dating, parenting, friendships, spiritual life, and finances. This broader lens helps prevent the common pattern of succeeding in one domain while neglecting others until the cost becomes unavoidable. The approach also pushes readers to define what success looks like for them rather than defaulting to generic milestones. The book's process typically begins by identifying desired outcomes and then narrowing them to a small set of high-impact goals, since too many priorities dilute focus and execution. That constraint is a feature, not a limitation, because it forces trade-offs and exposes what you value most. Readers are guided to think in terms of balanced progress, where improvement in one domain supports another, such as better energy fueling, better leadership, and relationships. By selecting goals intentionally and holistically, the reader builds a foundation for a year that feels integrated rather than fragmented. Secondly, turning vague intentions into clear, measurable targets. The book treats clarity as a performance tool. Many people fail not because they lack motivation, but because their goals are imprecise and therefore hard to act on. Hyatt's framework emphasizes converting hopes into concrete outcomes with observable criteria, so progress can be tracked and celebrated. This includes defining what done looks like, creating a finish line, and setting metrics that reduce ambiguity. When a target is measurable, daily and weekly decisions become easier because you can ask whether an action moves the number or milestone in the right direction. The method also supports breaking larger goals into smaller components, which lowers overwhelm and creates early wins that build confidence. In practice, this might mean shifting from get healthier to a specific routine, performance benchmark, or consistency goal, or shifting from grow income to a defined revenue or savings target with deadlines. The book's structure reinforces that measurement is not about perfection or self-criticism, it is about feedback. With feedback, you can adjust earlier, avoid drifting for months, and build a stronger sense of control over outcomes. Thirdly, anticipating obstacles and building a plan to overcome them. A distinguishing idea in the book is that willpower is unreliable, so a strong plan must account for predictable barriers. Hyatt highlights common reasons. Goals collapse, such as unclear priorities, unrealistic timelines, competing commitments, lack of support, and discouragement after setbacks. Instead of treating obstacles as surprises, the framework encourages readers to name them in advance and create responses. This mindset shift matters because it reduces shame and increases resilience. When you expect friction, you are less likely to interpret difficulty as proof you are not capable. The book also brings attention to the role of beliefs and self-talk, since internal narratives can sabotage execution even when the plan looks good. Another practical aspect is designing the environment to make desired behaviors easier and undesired behaviors harder, which can include scheduling, simplifying, and removing triggers. Planning for obstacles also includes setting boundaries, learning to say no, and protecting time for the goals that matter most. By combining realism with preparation, the reader is guided to build goals that survive busy seasons, imperfect weeks, and competing demands rather than collapsing at the first disruption. Fourthly, creating daily and weekly rhythms that make progress inevitable, Hyatt's approach strongly emphasizes execution through routines. The book connects long-term goals to short-term actions by encouraging planning rhythms that keep priorities visible and actionable. Rather than relying on annual enthusiasm, the method promotes consistent review, scheduling, and course correction. Daily actions are positioned as the true engine of change, while weekly planning provides the bridge between vision and calendar reality. This includes allocating time for goal-related tasks, identifying the next best actions, and choosing commitments that align with selected priorities. The framework also implies that energy management is part of productivity, since goals in areas like body, relationships, and work require sustained capacity, not just time blocks. When routines are built well, motivation becomes less critical because the structure does the heavy lifting. Readers learn to reduce decision fatigue by standardizing key behaviors, using reminders, and building rituals that support focus. The value of these rhythms is that they can be scaled up or down depending on life season, keeping momentum alive even when time is limited. Over time, small wins compound into results that feel dramatic at year-end. Lastly, accountability and momentum through review and celebration. The book highlights that progress is easier when it is visible and shared. Accountability is presented not as pressure, but as support that increases follow-through. Hyatt's framework encourages regular review cycles to evaluate what is working, what is not, and what needs to change. This creates a feedback loop that prevents quiet drift, where weeks pass without meaningful movement. Reviews can include checking metrics, reflecting on obstacles, and recommitting to the next set of actions. A key element is celebrating progress, including small wins, because recognition fuels motivation and sustains effort. Many people postpone satisfaction until the final outcome, but the book suggests that acknowledging incremental improvements helps maintain confidence and persistence. Accountability can also involve partners, teams, or communities, especially for goals that benefit from encouragement and shared expectations. In addition, the approach reinforces learning from setbacks without abandoning the goal, treating mistakes as data rather than as a verdict. By combining review, accountability, and celebration, readers are guided to maintain momentum across an entire year, which is often the hardest part of goal achievement. In conclusion, this book is a strong fit for professionals, entrepreneurs, parents, and students who want a practical way to make real progress without sacrificing the rest of their life. It is especially useful for readers who have tried resolutions or traditional goal setting but tend to lose momentum after the initial excitement fades. The benefit is not only achieving a few outcomes, but learning a repeatable process for choosing priorities, defining success, and executing consistently. When applied across domains like body, love, family, money, and work, the framework can reduce the feeling of living in constant trade-offs and replace it with a more integrated sense of progress. Readers can gain clearer focus, better time use, and stronger follow-through, which often improves confidence and reduces stress. Compared to many similar books that lean heavily on motivation or inspirational storytelling, Hyatt emphasizes structure, measurement, and habits that survive busy schedules. The 5-step format makes the ideas easier to apply, and the multi-domain perspective encourages a fuller definition of success. For buyers who want a plan they can implement immediately and reuse every year, this book offers a compelling value. If you would like to support Michael Hyatt, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.